is an icy night in Pittsburgh, but the place is rocking, absolutely electric for the AFC Championship game between the Patriots and Steelers. And here come the Pittsburgh Steelers. The terrible towels are out in full force. It's cold, it's raw, the temperatures are dropping. We're below zero with the wind chills. But these teams are just fine. Two teams, two programs certainly well adjusted and have certainly been accustomed to playing in cold weather games. 11 degrees, wind chill -1 here in the Steel City. And hello, friends. What a magnificent matchup we have for you tonight. Jim Nantz, it's great to be with you. This talk of a dynasty for the Patriots. Most agree if they can get 2 more wins, they would define the modern day dynasty. That would give them 3 Super Bowls in 4 years. And of course, around here, they're very familiar with what a dynasty is from their Steel Curtain era of a quarter century ago. Bill Belichick tonight can tie Vince Lombardi, all these ties to history with the greatest win percentage in playoff history. If he wins here, he's never lost as a Patriot head coach in the postseason. He would go 9-1 and join the legendary Lombardi with the best record win percentage, that is. And there's Bill Cowher, the homegrown kid here from Pittsburgh, who for the 5th time now hosts the AFC Championship game. He's won once in this spot in the 4 previous tries. Phil Simms, my man, bundle up. It's going to be a fun night here in Pittsburgh. Let's start talking about the quarterbacks first off with Tom Brady, Mr. Perfect when it comes to the postseason.
Well, he's been perfect almost his whole career when you talk about Tom Brady. And what's been fun about following his career? 5 seasons he has played, and I've seen him mature on the field mentally, but also I've watched him mature physically. He's bigger, he's stronger, he can break some tackles. His arm strength has gotten better as he played, but maybe the most important thing of all, Tom Brady does not have to be the central figure for his offense or for his football team for them to win, and that's a special trait to have.
Well, he's never lost in the postseason. You have Ben Roethlisberger, who has never lost in the NFL as a starter. And tell me about the rookie, what you expect tonight.
Well, you said the magic word, it's rookie. And when you talk about Ben Roethlisberger, you've got to bring that up first. This is his first time through the NFL. He struggled last week. Jim, we talked to the players and coaches, and every single one of them said the great trait about him is he is resilient. They expect him to bounce back tonight.
All right, Phil, let's take a look at the UPS reliable game points. And you've been saying it to me all week. These two teams mirror images of one another.
That's what's going to make the football game so tough for both. They're hard to score against. They're scoring defense. Of course, they want to run the football. They're tough and physical, and the coaches, they demand toughness. They demand discipline. That's why they're in the AFC Championship.
Well, trying to connect with some of the old magic. Mean Joe Green, Rocky Blyer, L.C. Greenwood, and Mel Blount out there for the coin toss, which the Steelers have won, and they will receive when we kick the AFC Championship game in a moment on CBS.
You've got friends. You've got...
We'll take on Philadelphia in Super Bowl 39. Let's send it down to the sidelines. First up, Bonnie Bernstein.
Jim, the Steelers are 16-1, undefeated at home, yet you were underdogs. Bill Cowher, what is it that people don't understand about your team?
You know what, Bonnie? We don't know we're 16-1. We're 0-0. That's why we go out every week. We go out there a little bit with an edge in our back. A lot of people keep waiting for us to fall. Our motivation is to deny them that opportunity to see that.
Coach, thanks. Let's go over to Armin Katan, who's with Bill Belichick.
Thanks, Bonnie. Bill, very simply, how do you feel about your football team?
Well, Armin, I have a lot of confidence in this team. You know, in the 2 biggest games of the year, we played our best football. The Steelers are tough. We're going to need our best game tonight, but I have a lot of confidence in these guys. They'll give it to us.
All right, Coach. Thank you.
All right, Armin. Thank you. And Phil, with the temperatures, again, with the wind chill below zero, the football, throwing it, kicking it, punting it, what's the impact?
Well, I'll just say this, Jim, I said it last week. A situation like this, here you are late January, Heinz Field. You couldn't ask for better conditions. I think the quarterbacks both were concerned about the weather, but it's turned out to be a pretty good night.
Mr. Clutch and Vinatieri will get it started. He so often has ended playoff games in heroic fashion, but a short kick, somebody better grab it. Ike Taylor does at the 25, and that will be the starting point for Ben Roethlisberger and the Pittsburgh Steelers, who operated this year not only with a rookie quarterback, but also a first-year offensive coordinator, Ken Wisenhunt. And Roethlisberger 14-0 as a starter. Alan Faneca, one of two on that line to be voted to the Pro Bowl. Harding's the center, is the other. And Jerome Bettis. 7 times this season he started, all 7 over 100. And there's Ken Wisenhunt. Play calling the biggest game of his career, and what a season he's had. Taking over for Mike Mularkey, who went on to head coach the Buffalo Bills. And Bettis rambling for a quick 4 against this Patriot defense of Romeo Crennel. Romeo's crew, let's check them out. Jarvis Green gets the start as Richard Seymour is again inactive with the knee. He will not be suited up tonight. Bruschi had 2 big fumble recoveries last week in the victory over the Colts. And Rodney Harrison aiming for his 3rd trip to a Super Bowl, once with the Chargers. And this would give him, if they win, 2 in 2 years with New England. 2nd down and 6. Roethlisberger now has to run with it. Dives ahead to the 31. Jarvis Green chased him down after a gain of 3. And Phil, let's go through your spotlight here when the Steelers have the football.
Well, the Pittsburgh Steelers, the number one thing they do not want to do, they don't want to rely on Ben Roethlisberger. They want to run base plays, run the football, and keep it out of his hands if possible. The Patriots defense, last week, it played back for the pass. Already this week, crowding the line of scrimmage a lot more, trying to stop the run.
3rd down and 3 with 4 receivers in the game, and Troy Brown in as extra defensive back for New England. Roethlisberger throws too high, and he is picked off. It is picked off by Eugene Wilson. Intended for Randall L. Sante Samuel was trying to get a hold of it, and Eugene Wilson came over and made the grab for the pick.
When you're trying to play pass defense, a young quarterback, don't blitz him because that makes it too easy. So they drop a lot of people back in coverage. The throwing lanes are tight. Ben Roethlisberger tries to be perfect, and if it's just off target, the ball gets tipped up in the air, and what a good job by Eugene Wilson attacking the football and making a good interception.
This is something that's a very bizarre thing that's happened this year for Roethlisberger, getting picked on one of his first throws. He got picked in his first start, first pass. 7 of his 15 games this year, he's been picked off on one of his first 4 throws of the game. Initial toss tonight goes to the Patriots, and now it's an end around with Deion Branch racing. Polamalu got him by the shoestrings. Stephen Neal helped clear it for 14 yards.
Well, when you're playing a fast defense, you want to take some of that edge off. And when you're playing either one of these teams, they believe in screens, throw the football down the field, and run some misdirection plays to slow the defense down. Deion Branch, maybe the fastest guy on the Patriots team. They take advantage of him right away.
First down from the 34. And Corey Dillon. The Steelers getting a look at him for the first time this season. As most know, he did not play in the Halloween Day game where their win streak came to a close at 21 straight. Tom Brady, again 7-0 in the postseason, never lost a postseason game. That includes 2 starts in bowl games at Michigan. Brandon Gorin has a key matchup against Aaron Smith. As you see Charlie Weiss, the offensive coordinator, with Dillon today. Dillon last week 144 against Indianapolis. Fourier comes in as a second tight end, 2nd down and 9. It's back to Dillon. And brought down at the 30 by Larry Foote and Troy Polamalu in a gain of 3. This is the toughest defense in the league to run against. In fact, they statistically lead so many categories as you see Dick LeBeau back as the coordinator this year. What a season. There's Aaron Smith. Belichick says he's underrated and one of the best defensive ends in the league. Joey Porter in the win over New England had 3 sacks and 2 forced fumbles, both leading to touchdowns. And Polamalu in his first year as a starter gets the respect of the league, gets voted to the Pro Bowl. Third down and 6. Polamalu showing blitz. Now he backs away. Brady with time. Intended for Patton. Deshae Townsend was hanging with him.
Steelers take a page out of the playbook of the New England Patriots. They do not blitz Tom Brady. Make it tough. Make him find the open receiver down the field. It's cold. You got a fast defense. Make him make the perfect throw. Brady not able to do it that time.
Well, let's see if a visiting kicker can connect from over 40 yards. Everyone knows what happened a week ago to Doug Bryant. 48 yards, Vinatieri. And Adam Vinatieri gets it there, and the kick is good. And that matches the longest kick ever in 4 years at Heinz Field by anyone. A Steeler kicker or an opponent. Patriots on the board. 48 yards. Patriots taking advantage of the turnover. They opened the scoring here October 31st with a Vinatieri field goal before the Steelers scored 3 touchdowns in the opening quarter, and the blitz began on their way to a 34-20 streak-ending victory over New England. Terry's kick this time, fielded on the fly. It's Randall L. looking for the outside, and Rodney Harrison twists him down.
That's something you see that's kind of unusual, Jim. The Patriots, they play a lot of their star players on their special teams. Rodney Harrison on the kickoff team.
Roethlisberger comes back out after getting intercepted with his first throw, and a week ago he lost his confidence early. That was the talk around the Steelers headquarters this week.
And it showed when I watched the game tape. I thought he looked, I couldn't believe how uncomfortable he really was almost the whole time. This week, Bonnie Bernstein said during the pregame show, he's confident. He had a wonderful week of practice, but that is a bad start for him.
Go to the ground, Bettis up ahead before Harrison rides him down. Gain of 5.
Now you look at this New England defense today, and as they looked at this Pittsburgh offense, Jim, you and I talked about it. Have we ever talked to a coach where his main focus when he talked about the offense he's playing against, Bill Belichick, says the offensive line?
That's all he talked about.
That's it. The offensive line, we got to be physical, we got to win a battle, and we cannot let them run the football up the middle, which they did the last play.
Walt Rasby has come in as an extra tight end. And Randall L. in a slot to the right. Second down and 5. Bettis stacked up this time. No gain. Talking about a week ago, Bettis in the game against the Jets.
Well, here's the reason why Jerome Bettis has been such a tremendous factor late in the year. Deuce Staley gets hurt. Well, Jerome Bettis was a situational player. Now he's healthy, late in the season, strong, powerful, and he has taken advantage of the fact that he is fresher than the defenders that are trying to tackle him.
Another third down situation for Roethlisberger. Third down and 5. He has Burris for the first, and in the New England territory at the 47. A gain of 17.
You know, as I watch this Steeler offense, it is about running the football, and it's also about some play-action passes. But they have always done, since Bill Cowher has been here, they have been an excellent third down passing team. If you're going to run the football a lot, you better be good at picking up 3rd, 5, 6, and 7-yard situations. They have done it, and they've done it well, even with the rookie quarterback.
Burris told us, I want to get involved in this game. I'm not talking about a 2 or 3 catch performance. It's Bettis, and he dives for 2.
What did Plexico Burris, he says to Jim and I the other day, there's Rodney Harrison getting a little chippy. That's something new. But what did he say to us? He goes, hey, wouldn't you throw it to me? Why wouldn't somebody want to throw it to me? And you know what? I can't argue.
He wasn't feeling that involved early in the season. In fact, got off to a horrible start. And then once Roethlisberger became the starting quarterback, the two live in the same complex here in Pittsburgh. And they met one afternoon in Ben's pad and said, hey, it's your turn. I'm going to get you involved.
Well, he's handled it well, though, Jim. That's a sign of success on a team.
Second down and 8. to Jerome, and Brewski makes the hit at the 43. A lot of jawing going in right at Jerome.
Jerome Bettis, we talked about him being fresh. He takes it up in there. Let's just take a look at the hit. That's pretty solid. Teddy Brewski, he's not the biggest middle linebacker in the NFL, but he can load it up and put some weight in his pants when he needs to, too.
Yeah, Brewski, you were asking him, it's going to be hard to get up again after that performance by your defense against the Colts. He says, we got plenty left, believe me. 3rd down and 5, just beating the play clock. Verlon Haynes, does he fall enough for the first? It's like they'll spot it just shy.
They've been running this draw play. If it's 3rd and 7 or less, you're playing defense. It could be a quarterback run. It could be a draw by the offense, which it was there. And, of course, it could be a pass.
They're going to measure for the first.
I think if they're short, I'm thinking I was going to speak too fast.
You're thinking the bus.
I think
short yardage.
I think they'll go for it.
Walt Anderson is the referee, his first playoff assignment of his career, and it is a good half yard. They'll still go for it?
I think they will. It's inside the 40-yard line.
You not only would go for it, you think that would be the right decision.
Yeah, I do.
Decision.
I do. In this atmosphere, and right now, the Steeler offensive line, I think they're doing a pretty good job of blocking on and being powerful, and this is a really good way to establish what you're about today.
During warm-ups, Jeff Reed was easily booting him in this direction, good from 53 yards, but there's never been a 50-yard field goal made in Heinz Field's history.
Jim, remember, he was kicking the Pittsburgh Steelers practice balls, not game balls, which are much tougher for these kickers to get distance on.
Out of the eye with Bettis. Kreider moving, and it's Bettis. Meets resistance right at the line. I think they held him back. The ball's loose.
And he didn't get it anyway.
Mike Vrabel comes away with the football.
Excuse me, Jim, the Patriots want to be tough up the middle. They showed it that time. They played for the run right up inside, and they stopped Jerome Bettis.
They'll take over at the 39. The Patriots leading 3-0.
Oh, you don't have the Toyota Camry. Now that's moving you forward.
Well, Keith Traylor and Jarvis Green, the two inside defensive linemen, they cause the problems. They get into the backfield, they win the battle. Causes Jerome Bettis to be short, and Bill Belichick, 2 big plays for his defense early in the first quarter.
Yeah, forcing turnovers on their first 2 possessions. It was Colvin who stripped it, Vrabel who landed on it, but he would have had the first anyway. First down, and Brady threatening to go long, and indeed launches it for Branch. Has it at the 10 and in the end zone. Touchdown, New England.
What a throw by Tom Brady. And he took his time. He was patient. The protection was there. He laid it out, and Deion Branch did not panic. He kept his arms down, and he ran through the football. What a play by Tom Brady and Deion Branch.
It's the longest pass play of the season for New England.
Didn't you think it was too far?
I didn't think he would be able to get there, but he ran under it, and he beat Deshae Townsend, which for Brady, it's one of those, hey, I owed you one, because Townsend picked him back in October and ran it back for a score. This time Brady beats him for 60 yards to Branch, and it's 10-0. That's the longest pass play allowed this year by the Steelers. Branch makes the catch. 60 yards to the end zone. New England 10-0 at the start.
And it
Tom Brady. You know, so much talk about Corey Dillon not being here in October. Deion Branch was inactive with a knee in that game, too.
Power and speed. Corey Dillon with the power, and of course, Deion Branch with the speed.
Ike Taylor from the 10-yard line. And very little room to run it back. It's Robbie Abdullah, first to hit him.
Jim, let me show you a play that's run every week. Here comes the receiver across the field. The tight end's coming, and then Deion Branch is going to go deep. But here's the key. Troy Polamalu should stay in the middle. He reads Tom Brady. He comes up for the inside receiver. Tom Brady sees it and goes over the top. Oh, and Tom Brady baits him. And Troy Polamalu said, you got to be careful. Brady is crafty. He will look you off. And it happened on that touchdown throw.
On first down, it's back to Bettis for only a yard. You know, that fumble, you may have seen it, his second and 13 attempts. He'd gone 368 touches without a fumble until the fourth quarter last week, and now here in the first quarter today. And for the next 2 weeks leading up to Super Bowl 39, you can follow everything about the teams, the players, the coaches, Jacksonville, on and on at superbowl.com, including analysis from our men Phil Simms and Shannon Sharp and Boomer Esiason. Superbowl.com. Second down and 9. Jerome trying the right side. And nothing doing. Only one. Last week, this was really what could have been the breaking point. Down 7 in the fourth quarter. A rare fumble by Bettis. Almost 400 touches since the last time he coughed it up. The Jets got the ball back with a 7-point lead in the fourth quarter. And that, according to Bill Cowher, was when our team was defined.
He said, I got so much faith in my team. Even after that, we hung in there, came back and scored. And, of course, they eventually won the game.
Third down and 8.
3 rushers.
Good cross. Short of the first by a couple.
This is what I expect from the Patriots defense. When it's third in an obvious passing situation, they are going to make Ben Roethlisberger. Look at Mike Vrabel just destroy the receiver. They are going to make him see the receiver in a tight spot and make a really good throw. It led to 1 interception, and that time it doesn't lead to a first down for the Steelers.
Hines Ward stopped 2 yards shy. Hank Poteet, by the way, the first to tackle him, just signed some 11 days ago. He was attending classes at the University of Pittsburgh, had not played the entire season. Poteet made the hit on Hines Ward to force the punt of Gardocki. Troy Brown, he ran one back 3 years ago here in the AFC title game, but unable to shuffle past the first wave. 6 yards on the run back after a 44-yard boot, but back they come onto the field with that offense, up 10-0. Well, tonight, MetLife navigating the skies above Pittsburgh to provide aerial coverage of the game. You can look to the skies for MetLife, CBS events later this year. Brady and the Patriots. A field goal and a touchdown in their first 2 possessions. Start this series at the 27. Daniel Graham with Larry Foote hanging right with him. Loss of a yard. Armin Katayan with a report from the sidelines. Armin?
Well, Jimmy, Phil, you're talking about the certain craftiness of Tom Brady. He's got a little wisdom as well. No sooner had he thrown that touchdown pass to Deion Branch, he went to the bench, talked to his offensive line and said, thanks, guys, but listen, don't get too excited. There's a lot of time left in this game, 53 minutes to be exact. Jimmy?
But a totally different start than the last time here. Brady on 2nd and 11 over the head of Gibbons.
Well, I'll say this. When you talk to the Patriots, and I asked them questions about what you want to do on offense, they said the same. They said what I've heard many times about the Steelers. Look, they give you opportunities. You watch the film. The Jets had opportunities down the field last week. They didn't capitalize enough. Here are the Patriots. They get their first chance. What do they do with it? They throw the long pass for the touchdown.
Steeler defense needing to take a stand here. 3rd and 11.
Well, those 10 points didn't quiet this crowd down any.
And a flag throw. But back up the Patriots another 5.
False start, number 87, offense. 5-yard penalty, still 3rd down.
You know, Phil, you've talked so much this season about gloves for the quarterbacks. Do you wear them? Should you not? Brady was a big glove guy. And then a week ago, he told us doesn't like them anymore. It's hurt his accuracy.
Yeah, he finally admitted it to us that he does lose something when he wears a glove on his throwing hand. He wears one on his left hand to protect it, but you absolutely lose touch. The short passes, you lose that when you wear the glove.
3rd down, 16. Porter coming in. Brady steps up. Pass knocked away. Big hit by Chris Hope. Givens looked like he should have had it right at the 1st down yardage.
Hard to catch a football when you get hit that hard. That's how you want to play defense. See the throw, then react to it. Do not guess. That costs you a touchdown. Tom Brady looked it off. He leads him a little too far inside, and that is an excellent hit by Chris Hope.
And Josh Miller is in to punt. For 8 years, he was the Steelers' punter. And this is an ugly one. Hits at the 50 and deadened right away by Vrabel at midfield. Only 27 yards on the punt. Roethlisberger set up in good field. The sad news today about the passing of Johnny Carson, and all of us at CBS joined the rest of America to mourn his loss. The king of late night and a true television legend, American icon, who will be so deeply missed. Deuce Staley has come in for his first action as the Steelers start from the 48 of New England. They fake to Deuce. Toss complete at the 30. Hines Ward to the 29 before Bruschi wraps him up.
That's how you get your quarterback in rhythm. You throw on 1st down, and you throw it down the field. Plexico burst, he goes deep. It opens up a big throwing lane for Ben Roethlisberger, and he puts it right on the money to Hines Ward. But down the field throws are much easier for a young quarterback in a big situation like this than those short, tough throws when you're trying to throw it between defenders.
And that was the first time they called pass play on 1st down, and it worked for 19. Running this time was Staley, trying to get to the edge, and Ty Warren brings him down after a gain of 4. The Steeler defense had to switch the momentum in this game with a 3 and out, and they did so.
They did it, Jim. If that's the strength of your team, then it's got to come through in tough times. They did it. Now that Deuce Staley is in, if you're playing defense for the Patriots, now the field has opened up because he will take inside runs, bounce them to the outside, and Ty Warren, that was an excellent play to stop a long gain.
There was some room on that side if Warren wasn't able to make the tackle on 2nd and 6. Staley for no gain. Asante Samuel comes up and forces the pressure and the hit for no gain. Sunday, February 13th, Tom Brady, Richard Seymour, if healthy, Hines Ward, James Ferrier. They'll join standouts like Manning, McNabb, Vick, and many more in Honolulu for the 2005 Pro Bowl on February 13th. Boy, if they had a category for most versatile player to come to Honolulu, it would be Troy Brown, given what he's done this year. He's in on 3rd and 6. Running down the line, looking at Hines Ward, now backs off. Roethlisberger on the run, and that's an errant pass looking for Lee Mays at the 10.
I don't know who he was throwing it to. I thought he was throwing it to Hines Ward, and the football got away from him. He has complained, you know, when it's cold, it's sometimes tough. Look at Hines Ward in front of Lee Mays, wide open. And he knows it, but he looks down the field like somebody made a mistake. Not real sure.
That's high and wide. That's exactly what happened with his first throw that got picked off. So Reed is out, 43 yards. And Reed, with a streak of his own, delivers. 43-yard kick by Jeff Reed. He's now made his last 20 attempts. Points on the board for Pittsburgh. 10-3. Patriots late first. And we remind you, coming up, Nextel halftime report with Greg and Dan, Shannon and Boomer for a recap of the first half, plus the highlights from the NFC Championship game coming up on the Nextel halftime report down on their set in the end zone. Right behind the goalpost where Reed just booted it through, and our man Marino back in his hometown of Pittsburgh.
That's right.
Yeah, he helped get us over to the Steelers compound this week. He said, guys, I got it under control.
Wasn't that amazing? He was at the hotel. We let him get in the car with us to go to watch practice and do some work.
He told Lance Barrow, the producer, turn that GPS system on.
Yeah,
we don't need
all
it.
that. I'll tell you how to go, and he got us lost. we
ended up on a dead-end street.
We're a couple hundred yards from his house, and he's lost in his own hometown. It was incredible.
Welcome home, Dan.
That's right.
Bethel Johnson, Patrick pass, await the kick. It's Bethel Johnson at the 7. Very dangerous. And he is out to the 31. Krewalt holds on to the ankles. Tonight, the network that brings you TV's #1 drama, CSI, introduces the most anticipated new drama of the season. It's Numbers. USA Today calls it an excellent high-speed, high-tech mystery that's another CBS hit. Don't miss the premiere. It's coming up right after the game tonight. Hines Ward, who had the 19-yard catch that helped set up the Pittsburgh field goal. Dillon and Patrick pass line up behind Brady. It's Dillon for only 3. Willie Williams hit him low and brought him down. Corey Dillon, what a season he's had. He bettered his all-time Cincinnati season by exactly 200 yards, 1,635 yards, where he ran for 3 years for Dick LeBeau as his head coach. LeBeau going against him tonight as the D coordinator of the Steelers. 2nd down and 8. It's Dillon again. And 2 more, that's all.
So tough to run the football inside against the Pittsburgh Steelers. If you want to have success, you got to go out off tackle or outside. And James Ferrier, he had as good a year on defense as anybody in the NFL. Against the run, against the pass, he makes the other team turn it over.
They will not run another play here in the first quarter. Remember Halloween? It's 21-3 Pittsburgh after 1. It's 10-3 New England today in the AFC Championship game. Scoring in the first quarter on the season. Had that monster quarter against the Patriots. The first time only a field goal tonight. Take note that New England's the highest scoring second quarter team in the league. They face 3rd down. 3rd down and 6 from the 33. And it's David Patton hauling it in for the first. It's Chad Scott, who missed much of the season with a knee injury, was trying to defend.
When you watch the offense of the New England Patriots and you compare to what the Steelers do, Tom Brady, when he gets the ball on a 3rd down situation, every receiver is in play because he can go to the right side, left side, down the middle. Where the Steelers, they narrow it down and just tell their quarterback, go to one side and look at 2 receivers. Tom Brady saw that the coverage was off and made a nice throw.
They got Russ Hopstein in as an extra tight end. On 1st down, Dillon able to knock shoulders and move ahead for 5. Corey Dillon. We were talking about him a moment ago, having played for Dick LeBeau.
Jim, we talked about it. He keeps his feet flat on the ground. And when you're a kind of a flat-footed runner, when they hit you, you just got better balance. You got more to absorb. And that's why Corey Dillon sheds blockers or tacklers and gets gets those tough yards.
Second down and 5, and he is absolutely chased down, ridden down Aaron Smith for a loss of 2. How about Aaron Smith? I said it earlier. Belichick says very underrated. One of the best defensive ends in the NFL.
Yeah, he is, Jim. You know, and we talked to Aaron Smith this week. He came out of college, Northern Colorado, 275 pounds, and he's asked to take on big, much heavier blockers. He's learned to do it, and like you said, he's turned into one of the best.
Said it took a couple of years to learn the 3-4. It's third down and 7. Brady again, deep ball, and this time over the head of Givens. And back deep, Townsend along with Stu Vance.
The Steelers really run a unique defense. They blitz Tom Brady, but even when they blitz, they still keep enough defenders back so you can't go for the long pass down the field. Deshae Townsend's there, and there's also another defender coming across the field to help him out.
Miller's first punt traveled only 27 yards. This one far better. Randall L. back at the 10. Good blocking in front. He flies out to the 19 before he's brought down by Lonnie Paxton, the long snapper. There is a flag. Miller caught that one for 45 yards, and you'll remember, Phil, when he was Pittsburgh's punter in the AFC final 3 years ago against New England.
There's no foul on the play. All the action is legal.
Saw one of his punts run back by Troy Brown for a touchdown. Another one blocked, scooped up by Troy Brown, who lateraled for another score. Steelers come back out down 7, second quarter. New England with the Steelers coming out at the 19-yard line. Shaky start for Pittsburgh, turning it over. Its first 2 possessions leading to a field goal, Vinatieri 48 yards, and then after a Bettis fumble, 60-yard hookup, Brady to Branch. Staley remains in the game, and Staley runs into Rodney Harrison up at the 24 for 5 yards. Now let's take another look at a Sim spotlight.
Well, we talked about it. It's easy to see the game plan for the New England Patriots. Don't let them run the football. Crowd the line of scrimmage. And when the big boy's in there, Jerome Bettis, look inside and be careful when Deuce Staley's in there. Almost gets outside and breaks one. And we just saw it on the last run, too. Deuce Staley, different type of runner.
Second down and 5. Staley again. Staley with room and plowing ahead, first down. He beat him up for $125 in that first matchup. Only Edgerrin James had a bigger game. That was in the opener. Rushing wise, that is, against New England, so they're familiar with Staley running on them.
Yeah, you know, last week the New England defense had played back. They watched pass. This week they're up, trying to stop the run, and really the same thing goes with the Steeler offense. Jerome Bettis up the middle. I thought all along coming into this game that their chances of running the football were going to be with Deuce Staley outside.
Now they stop play for a moment. Timeout on the field.
Is this the help desk? Yes, it is.
Back in the Steel City, Jim Nance with Phil Simms, Bonnie Bernstein, Armin Catane. Look at the first quarter drives by the Steelers.
Well, here's the first drive. 3 for 7 yards, interception. And you can see what they did, all of them. 7 plays, 4 plays. And then the last one, 4 plays, got them in field goal range. And they made it.
First down, back to Staley for a loss of 1. We were waiting for the signal going to the break. It was a timeout called by the Patriots as Rodney Harrison limped off the field. He's been replaced by Dexter Reed. Now the turnovers by the Steelers, as you saw that drive chart, the first pass attempt of the game by Roethlisberger, picked off by Eugene Wilson, and then Bettis going for it on 4th and a half yard, fumbled. 1 play later, Brady with the long strike for the touchdown. Second down and 10. Riding Staley real hard, but he'll lose yardage. You wonder how Staley's feeling knowing coming into this game as it starts that the Eagles have already won 3 times. He was there all 3 the previous losses on championship day. Feeling, as he's told us a number of times this season, a lot of pride in that he helped build something special there, and today they get over the hump without him.
Yeah, they did. Well, I honestly, I don't think he cares about those Eagles right now, but you're right, Jim. He had such a big part of what they have accomplished down there, and he was off to an unbelievable start here in Pittsburgh. Then he got hurt, and Jerome Bettis got hot, so he's trying to work his way back into it.
Trying to work his way to Jacksonville to take on his old teammates. They're down at 12.
3-man rush.
Roethlisberger hits Ward. That's incomplete.
Really a terrific strategy by the New England defense. There's nowhere for the quarterback to run because they're not really trying to rush him too much. Once he moves, then they go towards him, and look at all the defenders. They're looking at him so they can attack the football when it's in the air.
How about Hank Poteet? He makes the hit to knock it loose. There's Romeo Crennel, the defensive coordinator, who everyone knows is going to be the Cleveland Browns head coach.
About time, and well deserved, and still doing a terrific job, of course, here with New England.
Troy Brown moves up and will not field this one. He'll let it go. And the generous roll down to the 30. For Gardaki, 42 yards. 10-3, New England. We're back in Pittsburgh. A reminder, tomorrow night, head down to America's hottest city and see for yourself what makes CSI Miami Monday's most watched show. It's tomorrow at 10, 9 Central here on America's most watched network. First down from the 30. Patriots haven't gotten anything going the last 2 series, but they start out with a nice rhythm. Pass to Fourier for 9 yards, and let's head down to Bonnie Bernstein.
Well, Jimson's giving up that long touchdown bomb to the Patriots. The defense for the Steelers had a little more fire in their eyes, probably fueled by Joey Porter, who before the last 2 drives has huddled up the entire defense and reminded them of what Bill Cowher told them. You got to be physical with New England. You have to tackle. You can't give Brady room to throw. Porter had his best game of the year against New England October 31st. Cowher said we need another one of those from Joey today.
That's the one where he had 3 sacks, 2 forced fumbles. Second down and 1, and Dillon gets to where he needed to go for the first down. Corey Dillon at Cincinnati. His first 7 years in the NFL, his win percentage total 27%. That's it. Now you come here, including the win last week in the playoff, 15-2. He's got almost half the total number of wins he had in 7 years in Cincinnati. And what an addition he has been. Led the league in yards per game. He missed some action, but 111 yards every time he suited it up. Tops in the league. First and 10, and play action fake to Dillon, and again Brady airs it out. Branch holds on at the 13. Hope and Polamalu doubled up, but not until Branch brings in another big one. This one for 46.
2 extremely impressive plays in this game so far, and they both have been Tom Brady to Deion Branch. You saw the move down the field. Wow, Polamalu on the hit, and he still hangs on. The Patriots, they make the tough plays. The receivers, they seem to always hang on to the football, and Tom Brady, I'll tell you, that was a strike.
And that was a strike by Polamalu. I don't know how he held on. Branch over 100 with those 2 catches and the touch. From the 14, Brady sets up screen. Dillon for 5, down to the 9. James Ferrier on the hit.
When you play against this Steeler defense, it's not going to be pretty for you if you're quarterback. You know that going in. Tom Brady knew it was going to be tough, but your game is going to revolve around a couple things. Are you going to turn the football over? And when you get a chance to make a big play, are you going to get it done? No turnovers for Tom Brady, and 2 big pass plays. That's getting it done.
Last week, his longest pass play against the Colts went for 17 yards.
It just shows you again, they changed their team according to who they're playing against. Short passes last week. This week, they're looking down the field almost every time.
Wide receiver screen. Gibbons, he will walk in. Touchdown, New England. Willie Williams had a play on him. Givens just tiptoed past him for a 9-yard touchdown.
Yeah, the old Steeler Heinz Field got him. That's what happened. Willie Williams, as he was coming up, the footing just went right out from under him. I can see the skid marks from way up here where he slipped and fell.
How about David Givens now? He has caught a touchdown in his last 4 playoff games. AFC Championship game last year, the Super Bowl last season, last week against the Colts, and tonight again. Terry, 2 touchdown advantage, 2 Brady touchdown tosses. This one to Givens. 17-3 New England. You can get complete coverage of not only the wrap-up of the NFC Championship game won by the Eagles earlier today, but this one as well. CBSSportsline.com, and they remind you, you can also get started with your 2005 Fantasy Baseball League today at CBSSportsline.com.
Are you going to join?
No, I'm out of that. Wow. Sounds like you are.
No, you're in NASCAR fantasy, this fantasy.
And the run back, Ike Taylor and Rodney Harrison, who had to sit a couple of plays, back in and makes the tackle.
Let's go back and look at this touchdown. When a receiver comes in motion, especially near the goal line, defenders have a tendency to back off. So Tom Brady sees this, and they throw one of these quick screens outside, and then you see it. Willie Williams, as he's coming up to make the tackle, he slips out. Watch Tom Brady. Sends him back outside. Now, I'm not sure if this was the play called or is this one of those times where they said, hey, if they're going to stay off of us, let's throw the ball out there real quick and make them tackle you.
Well, Charlie Weiss taking care of his Notre Dame guys. Givens.
That's right.
For the Fighting Irish. Been with the Patriots now 3 years and coming up big in the postseason. 3 more yards for Deuce Staley.
Let's see. Tom, yeah, no, I just want to say, Tom Brady, what a start. What a difference, Jim, in this game. The makeup, the rebound, the comeback, to do everything right that you did wrong, of course, the first time. We were talking to a couple of the players last night. They said he was focused and, kind of quiet. When quarterbacks or players, they are a little quiet to themselves. That means they're paying attention and wanting to play ball.
Down at 7, and Roethlisberger picks up the first down with Jeremy Tooman. A gain of 8. And what about the Steelers down 2 touchdowns and how vital this series is?
Well, it's vital, but don't panic, and they will not. They know what they are, and Ben Roethlisberger, the Patriots, they want to keep him in the pocket. They want to play pass coverage, so he is going to have plenty of time to throw the football. So he doesn't need to rush his decisions. And when he makes that decision, make sure it's a smart one and be careful with the football.
First down play action. Roethlisberger has Hines Ward in Patriot territory and pushed out by Eugene Wilson at the 37.
These Steeler receivers, they're big and they are fast. And you worry about Plexico Burress. Hines Ward on the inside. They both go right up the seam. And when he breaks outside, look at that. Nobody's out there. Patriots playing deep, trying to prevent the big play. And a nice touch by Ben Roethlisberger.
Yeah, the pass perfect. 28 yards, longest play of the game for Pittsburgh. Staley. Only a short gain, that coming after the first play for 20 yards or more allowed by the Patriots in this postseason. Remember, the Colts didn't have any 20-yard gains or longer last week. And this game, the second coldest all-time in Pittsburgh.
It almost seems hard to believe. I've watched so many of these playoff games here in Pittsburgh. It's snowing, ice. Well, of course, a lot of them have rained over the years. But I used to watch some of those great Steeler teams.
Second down and 8, but with the intensity in the air, you don't feel that cold right now, do you? Staley for about 2. Guarantee the players don't.
Well, that answered your question. You were always asking me, oh, come on, this weather's got to bother the players. It's got to be cold. Well, Jim, here we are in an open booth. and we got a little, adrenaline going. But you're right. You said, hey, I'm not even cold. So, and I looked at you and I said, well, you know the players are not. So the elements are not the factors a lot of times that we make them out to be.
3rd down and 6. They bring in 4 receivers, and Veron Haynes in is the running back flanking Roethlisberger. He's going to run with it. Has the first down. And Big Ben is down to the 22. He ran right behind Haynes for 10 yards.
That was really well designed and timed. That time, the Patriots got 4 big guys trying to rush the passer. And when you rush the passer, it opens up running lanes. Watch him come up the field. And Haynes leads him up inside. Well designed and very well executed by the quarterback and the offensive line.
Well, they had 9 runs by Bettis, 8 attempts by Staley, but Roethlisberger taking off with the longest rush for the Steelers to this point, 10 yards. New set of downs with Staley. And he's tripped, falls inside the 20. Staley and Bettis, what a 1-2 punch against Staley starting the season. And then got injured against New England. That's where the hamstring injury occurred.
The touchdowns, Jerome Bettis, 14 of them, but a lot of times they were 1-yarders when Deuce Staley brought them down the field. At the beginning of the year, Jerome Bettis, he had a unique role. That was to run the football once they got inside the 5-yard line.
2nd down and 6. Roethlisberger picked off. You could see that one coming. It's Rodney Harrison. Roethlisberger looking to make a play, and he's knocked down. Rodney Harrison will run it back. Vrabel throws the final block, and he can just step across casually as can be. 87 yards and no flag.
Rodney Harrison is always making big plays, but usually it's tackles, big hits, helping out against the run game. But this time, I tell you, Jim, you're right. What a tremendous job by Rodney Harrison. I can see why Ben Roethlisberger, why he threw the pass. It looked like the receiver was going to be open. He had the perfect angle. He came right underneath and picked it clean. What a play.
87-yard run back. It's the 2nd straight game. Roethlisberger has had an interception return. This time it's Rodney Harrison. 24-3 Patriots.
He is a rookie the whole year in the playoffs. It takes courage. You've got to stand over there and give yourself a talkie to come out here and be strong and be convinced of what you're going to do.
Randall L. from the goal line. Randall L. wanting to get outside to the 27.
Rodney Harrison is not what you would call a fast defensive back, but he is smart. Number 37, here he is. Stays back. Once the tight end, that was perfect. He waited till the tight end made his move, then he broke on the football, just the way you would teach it if you were a defensive coordinator, and Ben Roethlisberger did not judge it correctly. He gets the interception for the touchdown.
He was looking for Jeremy Tooman. So Rodney Harrison, what a leader, and like Dillon this year, what a pickup he was back in 03. Roethlisberger gets away, and he'll run for another good gain out near the 40 as we reach the 2-minute warning. Roethlisberger has been picked twice. The second one, though, a killer. Run back by Rodney Harrison, 87 yards for the touchdown. He has won not only his 14 starts in the NFL, but 27 straight overall, going back to his last year at Miami University when he won his last 13 starts in college. What about him? What's he going to do now?
Well, I always say this. I go, first off, he's a rookie, but he looks at this team, and when we talked to him over the weekend or on Friday, he realizes the pressure he is under. This is a good football team. He does not want to be the reason why they don't go to the Super Bowl. So that's tough on any quarterback.
Those long to Burris and almost picked off again. Sante Samuel.
You know, but just to finish, as we watch this long throw, he knows the defense, they can run the football. They got excellent receivers, and he wants to hold his end up. That's a pretty good job on the outside by Plexico Burris, but you got to throw it about 5 to 10 more yards. Here he is looking at the interception with Mark Whipple, the quarterback coach. And you know why he does that? Because he realizes now, the coach shows him the picture, you threw it to the wrong guy. There was a wide receiver behind him who was open, made the wrong decision.
Haynes, 2nd and 10 to the 44-yard line. 3rd and 5 on the way with 1:40. Steelers with a full load of timeouts. New England with 2. We've got the Nextel halftime report. Greg, Dan, Shannon, Boomer. Coming up, they'll recap the Eagles getting over the hump, heading to Jacksonville, Super Bowl 39. We'll recap that and their thoughts on the first half coming up. Nextel halftime report.
McNabb showed he was weatherproof, I thought, today. The weather, no sleeves on his arms, out there throwing it like it was just another sunny day in Philadelphia.
It's 3rd down and 5. Roethlisberger taken off. Chased down and knocked out by Jarvis Green. Jarvis Green knocked it out of bounds out at the 43-yard line.
This defense, it's not catching the Steelers offense by surprise. Jarvis Green chases him down. They're rushing 3, and they're not trying to get there. They're waiting for him to be impatient and to move because nobody is open, and when he moves, they get away from the blockers, and they're running Roethlisberger down. They talked about it. They expected this. They actually expected a 2-man rush and 9 defenders dropping back.
Inside of a minute to go in the first half. The Patriots will get another handle. Picked up by Troy Brown, and now he'll just fall at the 14. MetLife teaming up with CBS to provide tonight's aerial coverage of all the action below. A fixed-wing aircraft being used. And our friends from MetLife, we thank them for the aerial views of the AFC Championship game. Phil here with 40 seconds to go in the half. What do you expect we'll see from the Patriots?
Well, they just want to get out of this first half now, Jim. The Pittsburgh Steelers with 3 timeouts. I would doubt that the Patriots would throw the football, take a chance. The only way they would, of course, the Steelers, they should use a timeout immediately if the Patriots do run the football.
Run it with Dillon. Doubled up after a gain of about 4 by Kimo von Oelhoffen. Aaron Smith over there and Joey Porter. And there's the timeout called by Pittsburgh, 31 seconds.
Bomb or something into the end zone and give your team a chance to score.
2nd and 7, and that's going to move the chains.
Of course, that
Corey Dillon
went out the window
right there with that run.
and you know, too, that's a bad sign. The Steelers coming into this game. Bill Cowher, we are worried about Tom Brady. They didn't even mention the running game. They take for granted that they're going to stop your running game. It's the passing game they worry about.
24-3 is the halftime score. Tom Brady, he told us the week following the game against Pittsburgh, we were in St. Louis, he said, we want another shot at them. We're going to see him again, and I'm looking forward to it. He's thrown 2 touchdowns. Harrison runs back an interception. And look at New England, 24-3. All over the #1 seed here in the Steel City. Nextel halftime reports coming up after this message and a word from your local station, and you're watching the NFL on CBS.
The big games.
His right thumb. Why would you pour cold water on your thumb when it's 0 degrees out here? It's probably hurting. It's probably throbbing. I would not be surprised to see Bill Cowher turn to Tommy Maddox.
All right, let's talk about second half adjustments. Dan, you first.
Well, when you make me think they can get back in this game, they have to have it 3rd and manageable. 3rd and 2 to 3. Any chance to get back in this ball game, and they need to go on 1st down, guys.
All right, guys, we thank you for watching the Nextel halftime report.
Presents the Nextel halftime report.
Patriots Patriots, no turnovers in the first half. They forced 3 takeaways. No sacks allowed as they dominate the Steelers. They've stopped the rush. They've had the snap in the legs. They've gone long the branch. Givens caught one. All smiles for New England. Rodney Harrison adds to the act. And it's 24-3. You're watching the NFL on CBS. It's been a beautiful night for Patriot fans, not for the throng assembled here in Pittsburgh. And let's talk about this Roethlisberger thumb issue, which Bill Cowher absolutely assured us on Friday there's nothing wrong with the thumb. What do you say?
Well, we saw it at halftime. Boomer Esiason talking about they were pouring water in his hand. Jim, I'm just telling you this. I watched him throw the football here in the first half. It was coming out of his hand clean. It's what he wanted. He had control of the football. It's the decision making. That is the problem. He threw some balls down the field. You even said, hey, beautiful throw. So I don't think the thumb is the reason why he had a rough first half.
Well, it's always going to be rough when you turn the football over 3 times, come up with no takeaways, but that's the case.
Turnovers, this is what it's about. This Patriot run, all these games they have won, the 2 Super Bowls this year, it's about making big plays, and they've done it in this game, and they forced the other team to make mistakes.
New England gets the football first in the second half, and what about the idea that we could see Maddox?
Well, you know, I think a lot's going to depend how this game plays in the second half. If the Steeler defense, it's the heart of the team, they got to get some 3-and-outs, and then that way, if they do, they can still be patient on offense, and it gives Ben Roethlisberger a little more time.
For Johnson on the run back to start the second half to the 30. And let's head it right back down to Bonnie Bernstein. Bonnie?
Well, Jim, Bill Cowher obviously surprised this game's gotten away from his team so quickly. He spent part of halftime trying to calm Ben Roethlisberger down, telling him you can't force the ball into coverage, just rely on your ability. I asked him about him pouring cold water on Roethlisberger's thumb. He said, I don't know anything about that, but he did say if Roethlisberger continues to struggle, we will see Tommy Maddox.
Well, there you go. And that's something that, you know, Phil, you've really been talking about. Some scenarios the last 48 hours where Maddox could play a role in this game.
When it gets Tommy Maddox, if you got to do it fast and you got to get in a rhythm, he can get hot and he can pick a defense apart, and he can probably do it easier than Ben Roethlisberger.
There's the Steeler defense and Chris Hope bumping out Dillon. 1-yard loss. Let's get the Patriots story from Armin.
Well, Jim, I had the opportunity to listen and just outside the locker room at halftime, and Charlie Weiss spoke first, telling his team, listen, we are not going to go into a shell and put our bats away. We are not going to get complacent. We're going to put the pedal to the metal. He said on this first drive, we want to bury this team. Bill Belichick only spoke for about 15 seconds, but what he said was powerful. He said, we're going to play the same way we did in the first half, concentrate on the next play, and do not look at the scoreboard. Jimmy?
All right, thank you, Armin. On 2nd and 11, Brady going down, and it's Joey Porter. You said the defense must do it. They must lead the charges if there's going to be a comeback.
Hey, look, if you're an offense, if your offense is the strongest part of your team, you got to get it done by scoring points. The Steelers, Jim, it is about their defense. They've got to set their offense up and get them back into the game. And Tom Brady that time, very smart decision. Didn't see anybody open. He knows he's up 24-3. Be extremely careful with the football.
3rd down and 16. From the gun. Blitz is picked up. Brady release. And 3 and out. They were talking about the knockout punch with this opening series, but they'll be punting instead.
Well, there is a blitz by the Steelers, but the coverage downfield is excellent. This time, look at David Patton down the field. Chad Scott has him all the way, and there is no room to throw that football to him.
Scott had that side shut off. Miller, remember, had a poor punt going in this direction. And a low one picked up by Randall L. And to the 44. That is a good point to start if you're Pittsburgh, needing to get something started. Roethlisberger, how will he handle the second half? We'll find out in a moment. 7 yards picked twice. Tommy Maddox waiting in the wings. Could see action. And we talked to Bill Cowher. You proposed that would there be a scenario, and he said he did come to Maddox at one point this week and say, remember who finished that game in the AFC title game for New England when we played him 3 years ago. It was Drew Bledsoe.
Drew Bledsoe came in and threw a big touchdown pass.
Said he reminded Maddox. 6 yards for Bettis on that carry. Troy Brown running it back. Brady got hurt. Bledsoe came in, found David Patton for the only offensive touchdown. To the blocked field goal, scooped up by Brown. Laterals to Antoine Harris for another return. 2nd down and 4. And Roethlisberger on target to Randall L. inside the 40. Gain of 12.
Well, look what has happened to Ben Roethlisberger. The first 11 games, he was terrific. And then defenses, better defenses, and him getting tired, I think, had something to do with it, too. The statistics started to go downhill. Less touchdown passes, more mistakes. Some of the magic of running around and making the plays down the field, they were backfiring. Getting out of the pocket and turning the football over.
It's Bettis met at the line of scrimmage. Yeah, Ben last week picked off twice. Reggie Tongue returning one for a score. Twice in the first half here. Rodney Harrison running one back for a score.
Tell you what, that first pass he threw here in the second half, if he's nervous, he didn't show it. Dropped it right over, threw it over a linebacker right in front of the corner. Perfect first throw for Ben Roethlisberger here in the second half.
2nd down, 11. That is lost a yard on that last carry. Over Randall L. Cuts to the middle. He's got some room at the 20. To the 10 and down at the 5. Teddy Johnson saved the touchdown.
This play almost looked like the one the Indianapolis Colts ran against the Denver Broncos. They catch the Patriots in a blitz. That's what you want. There comes the blitz to the outside. The defenders, they know they're in trouble. Teddy Bruschi takes a tough angle. And Antoine Randall L. shows you he is fast and he is excellent in the open field.
1st and goal to go. Ride with the bus. He's in. Touchdown, Pittsburgh.
That's how you answer in the second half. Your defense gets you the football back immediately. You have a screen play, you take a good situation, and you really take advantage of it, and you still have the power running game by Jerome Bettis.
And how about the powerful block by Dan Kreider, the underrated fullback. Got a piece of Teddy Bruschi. Bettis finds the hole and the end zone, and the Steelers come out with a big answer to begin the second half.
Everything they wanted, they got it.
Set up on the long play to Randall L. Well, you talk about rekindling the spirits at Heinz Field. They do it with this drive for the touchdown. We are back, and what did you think of that, Simsy, with that little start to the 3rd quarter?
Well, that was right out of the playbook, Jim. Bill Cowher gave him a speech. Let's do it. Let's stop them. Offense, let's run the football. Wait for our chance. They got it with the screenplay. Now they can go back and stick to their original game plan.
When one hot, Patrick passed. Bobble for a moment. Recovers out to the 31. Here's what we've seen to this point. Tom Brady up 3-0. Finds Deion Branch for the longest pass play in Patriot postseason history. Then David Givens, 9 yards from Brady. Just when it looked like the Steelers might cut it to 7, Rodney Harrison steps in front, takes off 87 yards. 24-3 at halftime, but Bettis covers the final 5 just a moment ago for Pittsburgh's first touchdown of the game. New England comes out with a 3-receiver set from the 31. Givens bumped out by both Hope and Willie Williams. Givens had his finest game of his career in that loss back in October. He was the main target for Brady during Branch's long absence. Branch missed about half the season, and Givens scored 2 of his 3 touchdowns in the regular season in the loss here at Pittsburgh.
David Givens, a late-round draft pick, Jim, like you said, out of Notre Dame, has just made himself into a frontline receiver over the years. Got good size and good speed.
And with his score in the first half today, 3 of his 4 touchdowns, actually 3 of his 5 now in the season, come at the expense of the Steelers. Ferrier, Higgins, and Porter stopped that one for no gain.
So many times when you watch teams try to run the football against this Pittsburgh Steelers defense, hey, if you gain 5 yards, you've had a tremendous run. It is fast, it's physical, and the style of defense they play, the 3-4 makes it extremely difficult to run against.
Brady, big numbers. You saw Dillon only 2 yards a pop, running against a team that was #1 against the rush, allowed the fewest yards and the fewest points. This defensive unit of Pittsburgh looking for another 3 and out, but they won't get it as Branch hauls that one in for 7 and a first down.
That was a clever play by the Patriots. It's hard to pick up that first down. I always say that. And they get a formation, they move people, they make a quick play action fake, and Joey Porter, he's mesmerized by everything that's going on, not able to get underneath Deion Branch to stop the first down.
You know, you were talking about Givens. It was Brady who told us last week before the Colts game, my 3 receivers, there's so much talk about the Colts, have all had good years that haven't gotten a lot of notice. Dillon for no gain. Said Givens had his best year, Patton's had his best year, and Branch, when he's played the best ever when he's been healthy. Here's your NFL.com poll. Which team will win Super Bowl 39? New England, Philadelphia, Pittsburgh. Cast your vote, NFL.com. 2nd and 10. Play action fake to Dillon. They're in on Brady, and they get him again. Clark Higgins.
Which linebacker is going to come? That's what makes it so hard to defense this football team. Is it Joey Porter on one side? You got Clark Higgins on the other. The Patriots trying to keep this defense honest by being patient and running the football some, but they don't care. They bring pressure regardless.
Higgins was Porter's roommate in college. Now they're on this defensive unit together, and they each have a sack in this half. 3rd and long, and a flag is thrown. It's going to be against the Steelers for holding.
Holding, number 91, defense, 5-yard penalty, automatic first down.
Wow, what a huge momentum change. It was going to be 4th and 17, now a first down.
It's a blitz. The Patriots have the screen play on. Aaron Smith, the defensive lineman, good shot. He has the running back, Kevin Falk, his arms wrapped around him. He diagnosed the screen play, but it's hard for a big man to act like a defensive back and stay off the receiver until the football gets there.
That's the first Pittsburgh penalty of the game. But it's a big one. First down, Patriots. top. Givens. Ball loose. Pittsburgh has it. Willie Williams and a flag thrown. Willie Williams knocked it loose. Givens got decked. That's like the third time tonight he's been walloped. And let's see him sort this one out. Personal foul on the Steelers.
I think that personal foul, though, is going to be
after the recovery?
Yes, after the play.
The ruling on the field is that the pass was caught, then fumbled, then recovered by Pittsburgh. After the play is over, personal foul, unnecessary roughness, number 53, Pittsburgh. That'll be a 15-yard penalty. Pittsburgh will retain the ball, first down, timeout.
Again, the ruling on the field is a catch, then a fumble.
David Givens makes the catch. Willie Williams with the tough hit from behind.
Was the knee down? Was the right knee down?
We might see the red flag. It's close. Does he have control? He does so far.
Oh, well, that is close. Williams stripped it and recovered it.
The right knee, that's going to be the key. I'm sure the New England Patriots are going to challenge this play. He does have control. Here comes the hit. Is the knee down? It looks like it hit. If that right knee did hit, it's going to be Patriots ball.
It would be Patriot ball at
plus,
the Pittsburgh 40.
Plus 15 yards for the personal foul. That was a better shot that time. I think his right knee was down. What did you think, Jim?
I think he's down. So the challenge issued by Bill Belichick.
New England is challenging the ruling on the field of a completed pass and then a fumble.
I think there's no doubt he made a football move. It was a completed pass. Question is, was the right knee down before the ball came out? We'll be right back. Stairs, and he's reviewing this.
Catches it, both feet on the ground. He's moving. Football looks secure. Does the right knee hit the ground? It does. Then
Clark Hagans hits.
Clark Hagans comes in. That's a late shot on Daniel Graham, and it adds 15 yards. I keep looking at this replay, Jim, thinking, okay, where can the Steelers see the possibility that it's not going to be reversed?
Well, the largest crowd in Heinz Field history is hoping it's Pittsburgh football. But will they have their hearts broken? Back to New England.
After reviewing the play, the receiver catches the ball, and his right knee is on the ground before the ball comes out. The ball is at that spot, belongs to New England, and we will still assess the personal foul penalty against Pittsburgh, 15 yards. It will be New England's ball, 1st and 10, at the Pittsburgh 25-yard line, and New England is not charged a timeout.
Now, that's double dose. You had it right all along, Phil. Bad news for the Steeler throng, as they'll now have the ball at the 25. The Patriots will.
Yeah, it was. Then Clark Hagans adds to it. You know, you think back to this drive. They've got him stopped. The crowd is going crazy. Tom Brady throws a screen pass away. There's holding. Okay, they get a first down. They think they've got a fumble recovery. So a lot of adversity right now for the Pittsburgh Steelers team.
From the Pittsburgh 25. Back to Dillon. His first running lane of the day. Dillon takes off. He's in for the touchdown. Patrick Pass and Stephen Neal led him to the end zone.
Boy, the Patriots, they come out in nothing but a running formation. They just lined up some extra tight ends and said, we're going to run the football. And they outnumber the Pittsburgh Steelers. 2 tight ends to the right. Stephen Neal pulls around. Patrick pass, seals off the inside. Stephen Neal knocks Clark Hagan's outside, and they get a tremendous running lane for Corey Dillon.
First play after winning the challenge. They take off with a rush unlike any other for the night. His first 12 attempts, 23 yards. 25 on this one to go back in front by 3 touchdowns. Back at its own end, New England's own end, on 3rd and 17. They had the holding call against Aaron Smith. Then they won the challenge, plus another penalty to aid the drive. And 1 play out of the challenge, Dillon takes off for the touchdown. Just when it looked like the Steelers defense had come up with another stop. Randall L. gets to the outside, and they'll start near the 40. They'll start near the 40, but just as they were at halftime. They're down 21 midway, 3rd quarter of the AFC title game. He's at 10, 9 Central. What'd you say? Forget about it.
Well, that was
what you said.
You didn't stay in your room long enough in practice that one.
How would you say it? Roethlisberger on first down, all kinds of time, looking for Burris. Went off the fingertips of Samuel, and then I thought he might snag it, Burris.
Ben Roethlisberger did so much of this early in the year, moved around the pocket, and then found the receivers deep down the field. Plexico Burris sees him scramble, run away from the defender. Excellent job, but what a job by Asante Samuel. Stops, recovers, shows a little burst of speed, and really drops an interception.
He almost had an interception, remember, on the first Roethlisberger throw. Kept it up in the air long enough for Wilson to get the pick. 2nd down and 10. And that's over to Rasby, setting up 3rd and about 4.
Well, there's no reason, even though you're down 21 points and you've had some problems on offense, you can still do what you do. In other words, be patient. You still have time, especially the way your defense has come out here in the 2nd half and showing that they can make some plays. Just got to get rid of the penalties.
Reinforcement brought into the secondary for New England. Troy Brown, Hank Poteet. Poteet getting a lot of action tonight and delivering. 3rd down and 6. Roethlisberger gets the first with ease. Alan Faneca helped them out with that for 9 yards.
Ken Wisenhut says, okay, you want to play these 3 down linemen? We got 1 more guy than you do. And look at that hole. Teddy Bruschi trying to fake the blitz. Then Alan Faneca, big man on a little man, tough for him to get around him. And Ben Roethlisberger, a big quarterback, just lays in there and gets some extra yards.
He's their leading rusher. How about that? 34 yards. As Bettis has 28, Staley 26. Bettis, 2nd effort for 6. Got away from Ty Warren. Now, the last time they had it, remember, the only time they had it in this 3rd quarter, they drove for a touchdown. Bettis, 5-yard run.
Yeah, you know, and I think, you know, the fans, everybody, they get restless when they see a running play. Don't get restless. Keep the defense honest. Stay with what you're doing. Don't panic, and the opportunity will come.
2nd and 4. Looking pass all the way, lofting it, and over the head of Tooman, and almost a 2nd interception of the game for Harrison.
You know, when you run a pass route, you always got to think, even if you never see it in practice, that, hey, you're the guy. It's coming my way. And that time, Tooman, you're the receiver. 84 coming down the field. Oh, there it goes. You got to dig the whole time. Never give up.
3rd down and 4. Is this 2-down territory, Phil?
No. Is that pretty direct?
5 minutes to go, 3rd quarter. From the 39 of New England.
If they don't get it here, Jim, I would be very surprised if they don't punt the football.
Go inside with Haynes. Boy, what an effort by Haynes. See if they give him the spot.
Tell you what they're doing. They're going to make this New England defense stay in there and think run regardless of the third down situation.
First down.
That's twice we've seen that draw play to Haynes. We've seen Ben Roethlisberger run a couple times. And Haynes, he knows the situation. It's third. He needs that extra half yard, and he reaches out and gets it.
From the 35, first down. Go Bettis up the middle for a couple. That's it. Tuesday, you've heard about it, you've read about it. Now the Emmy Award-winning Amazing Race coming down to the wire. With only 3 episodes left, don't miss a new Amazing Race. It's Tuesday at 9, 8 Central here on CBS. Look at Bettis' numbers, 13 for 34.
Well, the #1 goal, Jim, we said it many times. Stop the inside running game. They did that against Jerome Bettis.
Second and 8, Kuhlman lining up as a receiver. Bettis looking left side. And was there a fumble in there?
I didn't see any official throw that blue beanbag they have when they think there's a turnover.
Well, New England comes out. Randall Gay comes out with the football, but they're signaling Pittsburgh possession. He was down.
I heard the whistle blow too, so I don't even know if you could challenge this if the football does come out. A lot of defenders around Jerome Bettis. Is that Teddy Bruschi coming across and just hitting him?
Yep, he side swipes him with the body that I think knocked it loose.
And you know what? Forward progress was stopped. Anyway, so it is Pittsburgh ball.
3rd down and 5.
And this is 4-down territory, Jim.
Low snap. Roethlisberger fields it. Now looking for some room. Goes back to his left. Launches it long and almost intercepted again. Asante Samuel had his hands on it again. Hines Ward was the receiver.
Good job by Roethlisberger buying the time. He knows there's no pressure, nobody open, but this is the 3rd time this game we have seen a New England player. Look at Antoine Randall. He's on one side of the field, but Ben Roethlisberger is all the way across on the other.
And there's Plexico.
That's right. You know, the defenders, they know he's there. They're letting it go because they see the quarterback is on the other side of the field.
Spread it out. 4th down and 5. And a whistle.
Hold up.
Timeout, New England. Patriots will huddle. Up 31-10. 31, the most points Pittsburgh's allowed in a game this year. Hit Heinz Field. And Phil, why don't you say what you think this means right here? This very moment.
Yeah, we were talking during the timeout. I said, this is not the game right here, this situation, but it's pretty close. And one of the reasons why the Patriots took a timeout, they know what a big situation their defense and team is in. You stop them right here, and you have given yourself a tremendous chance of winning the football game being 3 scores up. Bill Belichick knew it, and of course I know Romeo Cornell knows it. Pretty good game management. Good time to do it, to really go over what you think the offense is going to do. And I'd say the #1 thought they gave their defense when they came to the sideline, look for the quarterback draw or the halfback draw. I don't think they'll run either this time. They'll throw it.
It's the 10th play of the drive in all. 4th and 5 from the New England 30. Roethlisberger in trouble. Frees himself. Lofts it. Gets Ward. Ward at the 5. And Ward is in for the touchdown.
That was a spectacular play by Ben Roethlisberger. Spectacular. Getting the extra time, and the throw, it was special too. Just drops it over the top. How he found Hines Ward, I don't know. Everybody covered down the field, nowhere to run, and Hines Ward makes a late adjustment, and Roethlisberger finds him.
4th and 5, no less. 30-yard touchdown pass to Ward. Reed with the extra point. 2 possessions in the second half for Pittsburgh and 2 touchdowns.
I tell you, too, what was impressive, Roethlisberger does not panic. He knows the situation. He wants to, he comes out, he stops, and he leads Hines Ward right up the field. Tremendous vision and just moving around, and this is it, going backwards.
Watch Lee Mays here, too.
He just can't get there.
Look at Lee Mays sealing it off, too, from Hank Poteet. Roethlisberger gaining confidence in the 3rd quarter.
Well, you know, the play he made that time, Jim, he made a lot of them during the season, especially early when he first took over the starting job, and that's what got everybody so excited here in Pittsburgh, the players and coaches, his ability to make something happen when it's not there. But of late, it's kind of backfired on him, and that will happen. It's such a fine line between taking a chance and finding disaster. But that time, he needed to take a chance, and he made it happen.
We saw Hines Ward, 5 touchdowns in his last 4 playoff games. One last week against the Jets, another one today. So 2:35 to go 3rd quarter, and the margin is 14. Johnson hasn't broken anything so far in traffic, and brought down at the 25 by James Harrison. Leads them in special team tackles. Been in the first half, 5 of 10, 2 picks.
I tell you what, the situation he was in, the way the first half ended, for him to come back and play the way he has so far in the second half, that tells you a lot about him.
That's what Coach Cowher said, too, about the way he has responded at times this year when things were going the wrong way.
You know, Bill Cowher said, I think he's a little nervous this week. That's good. He's worried about not holding his end up, but in the second half, he has done it.
And Dillon with Porter on his back after a gain of 3. Corey Dillon, when he was traded to the Patriots, well, before he was traded, they went through this whole interview process, Scott Pioli, Bill Belichick, and they made a phone call to Dick LeBeau. Said, hey, we need your counsel. What about Corey? Good guy, bad guy? You coached him for 3 years. Gave him a good report, and now he goes against him.
Said he was a good guy. The Patriots checked it out. Corey Dillon he has spoken out a few times down in Cincinnati, and that's one of the reasons why. That and Rudy Johnson, the fact that they have another good running back, made it easier to trade him.
2nd and 7. Nothing this time, and it's Porter for the 2nd straight play by the ankles.
Joey Porter. Well, this Steeler defense, they know the Patriots want to slow it down. What a move on the inside by Joey Porter, getting right around Daniel Graham and making the sack behind the tackle behind the line of scrimmage.
Dillon, numbers average-wise, not big, but one big gallop, 25-yarder for a touchdown. Now 4 receivers, make it 5. 5 receivers on 3rd and 7. Kevin Falk is split wide. And the pass, what a catch. Givens, was he touched? Quickly on his feet. And down at the 27. How about that catch in the presence of mind to get up and take off with it?
They ran this play against the Steelers last time when they played. Givens goes right down the middle, and Tom Brady didn't see him in that game they lost here back on Halloween. This time he sees it. He throws it to the inside. He leads Givens, and Givens makes a nice catch going to the ground.
Is it a catch, though? Is it a catch? They're trying to get the snap quickly. They run to the line, but the flag's already out. Pittsburgh will challenge.
Yeah, good try by the Patriots, but the Steelers all over that.
Pittsburgh is challenging the ruling on the field. There's a catch, and the receiver was not down by contact.
Well, that's another issue. Was it a catch? Was he down by contact? If it was indeed a catch.
And both are reviewable. There's the football, the hands, arms underneath.
That is going to be taken away. That ball was pinned against the ground. Any doubt about it?
Yeah, there's doubt in my mind. Is his arm underneath the whole time? This would be a good shot.
I think the nose, he rolls on top of it.
You
and
think?
It's pressed against the ground. That's what I see.
You said the wrong word. You think. You know, Jim, we all know. We hear it every NFL game we watch. There has to be evidence that you can see visibly to overturn what has been ruled on the field. And is he touched while he's down?
Now here's the one that really gives you the best angle on if it's a catch or not.
Arms are under the right hand.
That ball is against the ground.
It did hit the ground, but it's allowed to hit the ground, Jim, if you have control.
Okay.
So you tell me, does he have control? Starting to sound like an official.
Well, do you think he has control?
You know, I was here 3 years ago for that championship game. We had a lot of these. I was wrong on every one. We were having some laughs about it the other night. I think it's going to stay a catch. And I couldn't tell if James Ferrier touched him once he was on the ground.
It didn't take long for Walt Anderson to make his decision.
After reviewing the play, the receiver did not have control of the ball and he hit the ground. It's incomplete. It'll be 4th and 7 at the New England 28-yard line. Please put 1 minute on the game clock, and Pittsburgh is not charged with a timeout.
So they're going to add a half minute, a little more. Cowher says, let's go. They get a break this time. I thought this was the right call.
Jim, it comes down. He said he did not have control of it, and that was my argument. It looks like the ball is not moving, that he did have control, but Walt Anderson makes the call.
So instead of being again deep in Pittsburgh territory with the catch and then the run after the catch, instead they bring out Miller, who has struggled on 2 punts in this direction, including one that measured only 27 yards. Set up the Steelers' field goal in the first quarter. No pressure. And a good boot this time. Drives Randall L. back to the 23. Waits for some support. Gets it. Going outside. Dexter Reed has the angle on him and bumps him out. But Roethlisberger comes out. He's led this team on 2 touchdown drives, and he talked to us before the game about not letting his teammates down.
I don't want to let my teammates down. That's the biggest thing. These guys have put so much into it, and people like Jerome and some of the veteran players, you know, that people have talked about it being there last year. Hopefully it's not, but I don't want to disappoint them and let them down. That's my biggest fear. And last week I thought I did. I thought I really let them down, so I don't want to have to do that again.
Well, he had to be having those same thoughts about letting him down at halftime. But he's rallied here and played well in the third quarter, which is in the final minute of the quarter. And Bettis with room inside the 30 and out of bounds at the 29. Behind Hines Ward's block.
Off tackle is where the Steelers are having success when they run the football. That time they changed the formation around. Jerome Bettis comes to the left side. Hines Ward getting a block down the field. And Jerome Bettis, even though he's a power runner, still has those nifty feet and the speed that allows him to get outside every once in a while. Rodney Harrison, number 37, was chasing him.
Watch him. He's shaken up. Harrison is at the end of this.
Oh, he gets hit by his own man, Eugene Wilson.
Harrison on his back. He was shaken up in the first half. Set out a few plays, recovered, came back, had the pick and the run back for a score.
Well, this is something, the ups and downs emotionally for the teams, the crowd. The fourth down play by the Steelers a few minutes ago.
That's right.
They withstand a challenge, or have a challenge, and they win it. Rodney Harrison is setting up, which is a good sign. I thought it might be his legs, but his helmet hits the ground awfully hard, too.
Gets sliced by his own teammate, Eugene Wilson.
Yeah, because Jim, when they had him on the ground, nobody was looking at his legs, which I thought might be the problem, but he gets up and shakes it off.
Heads to the bench. They mark it at the 30, with Dexter Reed taking Harrison's position. First down, play action.
Got him wide open.
There he is. Ward again at the 10. Ward dives. They say he's out at the 4.
This is the exact same play that Tom Brady threw for a touchdown. Hines Ward is going to go across. They're going to clear it out. The Patriots cover the deep receiver and watch the receiver going across the field. Nobody is there. Top of your screen for Hines Ward.
Well, the time has run out on the third quarter, but a quarter that brought back hope to the Steel City.
CSI New York.
The line. So the ball is spotted just inside the 5 as we start the fourth quarter with the Steelers threatening again. They have scored on their first 2 possessions, touchdowns that is, of this second half. And looking to go in again. First and goal. Bettis hammered at the 3. Eugene Wilson, Teddy Johnson.
Well, the Steelers, they're doing now what they set out to do at the start of this game. Run the football hard and then pick up some key third downs, which we've seen them do here in the second half, and a fourth down. And then when you throw the play action pass, go down the field. The Patriots, they were afraid of this receiving core, the speed and the size, so they're giving them respect. That's why those mid-range throws have been open for Ben Roethlisberger.
Got that size on the outside to the left. They're looking that way on second and goal, and Burris can't hold on. You know, I remember Burris telling us a couple times this year, just throw it high enough. I'll come down with it. He's got the size advantage and the leaping ability, but this time he had his man boxed out, but look, reaching around Asante Samuel.
They did this the first time they played. They got the touchdown. I did not like the play call. It's too risky. There's too many other options. Run the football, move the quarterback, run the draw, run a play where you can pick a defender. But to lob it up is too risky, I think, for all the success you've had on doing other things on offense.
It's third and goal, and Bettis driving, but only managing a yard. Rodney Harrison back in on that play. Comes in and makes the hit. Fourth down, 4th and goal from about the 2.
Interesting call here, and Bill Cowher is making the right decision. He's going to kick a field goal.
Yep. Going field goal. He's bringing out Reed. This is the right decision, you say?
I think it is. It's if you go for it, Jim, it's too risky. It's 2 yards. If it was 1, you open up lots of options. Now you can get it to an 11-point lead. It's still a field goal, a touchdown, 2-point conversion. Keep the momentum going on your side.
For 20 yards, 3 points added. The crowd is booing.
It's a tough decision, but Bill Cowher made the right one.
We are a minute and a half into the final quarter, and a lead that on 2 occasions was 21 for New England. It's now 11.
New England's got to show that they can come out and pick up some first downs and just will their power a little over the Steelers defense. Physically, they are not getting it done.
Driving kick, and Bethel Johnson has no problem fielding it. It's going outside. It's a block from Cherry. And then ridden down by Coakley, 39-yard line. Tonight after the game, the countdown is on to start one of TV's most gripping and original new crime-solving dramas to come around in a long time. Stick around right after the game for the premiere of Numbers right here on CBS. Well, how about from Pittsburgh's end, not forcing a takeaway in this game and right on track with what the Patriots do in the postseason. They have not turned it over in 7 quarters, not once. Troy Brown is in on offense. First down, Brady. He hits Brown, and it looks like he has the first down yardage.
Troy Brown now on offense. Jim, we talked to him yesterday, and what did he say? I'm running out of gas.
But he did say it's probably the most fun I've had in my 12 years in the NFL, doing it all.
Yeah, he has. Playing defense, it's been such a surprise. It's been so hard for him. Troy Brown, and he's playing some receiver. He returns punts.
Kind of tipped his hand how versatile he can be 3 years ago in the AFC title game here. Again, he had 8 catches over 100 yards, punt return touchdown. Dillon still having a hard time except the one occasion finding any room, only a yard. Look at Troy Brown in this season. He caught a touchdown for Vinatieri in St. Louis. It was really the first game he came in and played in the secondary against the Rams. Since early November, he's been a two-way player.
And I think he told us, he says, I was hoping those defensive backs were going to get healthy so I could get off the defensive side, but it didn't happen.
Second down 9 from midfield. And this will be a third down situation on the way. Deion Branch. Third and 5. Branch with a big game, 4 catches, including a 60-yard touchdown. Kevin Falk, dangerous receiver out of the backfield. He lines up along with Patrick Pass, split behind Brady. Third down 5. Brady looks left, goes middle. Hits his target. Gibbons breaks free, fumbles, and falls on it. Whoa, he's never lost. I was going to say that before, although never counted as a catch a little earlier. But Givens, he has never lost a fumble in his career.
What a job by Tom Brady, hanging in the pocket, looking to his left, nobody there. David Gibbons came in and stopped completely, then took off again. It was designed to be that way. Tom Brady knew he was the last resort to complete a pass, and he found him.
Well, Gibbons had that catch where they said the knee was down before the fumble, and it's Dillon with a forceful effort for 6. Matt Light, Stephen Neal helping up the middle. And again, a reminder, February 13th, the Pro Bowl from Hawaii. Brady, Hines Ward, James Ferrier, Peyton Manning, Donovan McNabb. Just a few of the names who will be on hand for the Pro Bowl February 13th.
Look what the Patriots have done on this drive. This is a good pressure-packed drive by the offense. A few runs, couple passes, 2 first downs.
It's Kevin Falk behind Brady, not Dillon. Second down and 4. And it's Falk. Falk, good piece of running. Falk outside, and Deshae Townsend is the only Steeler over there. It was Falk who had to go the distance, really, against Pittsburgh in that game back October 31st, when they had only 6 rush attempts, tying the fewest attempts in an NFL game, the Chicago Cardinals from 1933. Only 5 yards they gain.
James Ferrier, he's inside. He's got to find a way to make some stops. He can't do it. They bring Kevin Falk in. He's fresh, and he makes people miss, and he has the speed to take it outside, too.
Yeah, so fresh. His first carry, 17 yards. Over to Givens. This was the touchdown play in the first half, and this time wrapped up by Willie Williams, who had solid footing this time.
I'm still trying to decide if that's a call in the huddle or he just sees it out there. If it's not a call in the huddle, not a good decision by Tom Brady. The defensive back way too close to David Givens to try to get many yards with that play.
A loss of 2, back to the 15. They have taken over 4 minutes away from the clock. Second down, 12. Dillon back in. And third and about 9 coming up. And into Larry Foote. And another significant moment in this game coming.
It is, and you know, the Patriots, they learned something from the last game, Jim, when they played here. You said it, 5 rushing yards total for the whole game. They got behind and they just got to throw in the football. Charlie Weiss, he knows, hard to make a living doing that against this Pittsburgh Steelers defense. They have been patient with the running game today, and that has enabled Tom Brady to get some extra time when they do throw the football.
Third down, 9. Coming after Brady, throws to the end zone, batted away. Townsend tipped it. Going for David Givens. And pressure, Clark Higgins.
Well, when it's a big moment in the game and you have a nickname and it's PITTSBURGH, what are you going to do? You're going to come after the quarterback. That's what you do. That's what you're good at. And excellent job by Deshae Townsend on the outside.
Vinatieri, good from 48. Early in the game, this try 31 yards. Lonnie Paxton to snap it. Miller on the hold. The kick. Ooh, that grazed the upright. Did it not? No. Okay. Left side anyway.
There you go.
I saw something. All right. It's good. And the lead is 14. You know what the score was when we were here back on Halloween?
I do.
Exactly the same, but in the other order. They have flipped it, 34-20, with New England on top in this one. That was a 5.5-minute drive, leading to the field goal. Randall L. And a good hit. Robbie Abdullah underneath that pile, made the first contact. Roethlisberger comes back out, looking for another drive. Itself, just wait till you see. Don't miss CSI Thursdays at 9/8 Central. And you look at the Pittsburgh receiver formation here. 4 receivers sending Randall L in motion. And on the D line, although they got 4 hands down, only 2 defensive linemen for the Patriots.
That drive by the Patriots offense, what it did, it forced the Steelers into a hurry-up offense. They look at the clock at 7:45. They go, we got 2 shots. You're going to get the ball 2 times. You got to score 2 touchdowns. So you know you're in 4-down territory already.
Randall L picked up 5, fumbled, but was already down. Second and 5. Roethlisberger overthrown, and Eugene Wilson. Do they give him the pick? Well, they do indeed. Intercepted. His second of the game.
Oh, I'm sorry, Jim. That football did get away from Ben Roethlisberger. It just kind of squirted out of his hand. You can tell by the wobble, and immediately when he let it go, it was high. Good look off. He's got the right idea, and one of the reasons why he threw it high, he knew he was going to get hit. Pressure on the quarterback makes you inaccurate, and what a catch by Eugene Wilson down the field.
Again, take another close look. Is it, in fact, a catch? Got his hands working on the ground. Kind of hard to tell.
Bill Cowher's going to challenge him.
Yep, here comes the red challenge flag. Wilson with a huge smile talking to Banta Kane.
Pittsburgh is challenging the ruling on the field of an interception.
That's why I wasn't sure if they were going to rule it initially. On the field as a clean catch. Looked very much like the Givens one from earlier. This could help clear up things.
Hands underneath, arm underneath.
Well, I'll let you go first this time, partner.
Possession. His hand is still underneath it. Okay. That is not going to be overturned, Jim Nance. You know, of course, you're one of these guys, no matter what I say, you'll go the opposite.
I'm with you. Win or tie. I think it's not going to be a catch, a pick.
Did you see some on that replay?
I did. Did you see it?
No, I did not see it.
That last one to me looked like there was something there happening between the ground and the ball.
You leaned that big head right in front of me. How can I see through it?
All right, I'll step aside.
There you go. Thank you.
Look at this one.
All right, you show me. Arm is underneath. His left hand stays underneath the football the whole time.
Hold on. Talk to me now.
I couldn't tell. This is a great view here. Look at that left hand.
Okay, now look at the football. That's close. And the question is, do they have the indisputable evidence? Always comes down to that.
Well, you know, there's a couple things. When you show them in slow motion, you can always say, oh, the ball moved, he didn't have possession and all. You can make of course the ball's going to move. He's running and he falls down on the ground. So you're going to see ball movement there. The word is control. Did he have control, and did he ever lose control of it once he hit the ground? So I say that let's look at it regular speed and see what it looks like. Hard to tell there too. It's a close call, but I think it's going to be an interception. But the fact that Walt Anderson's talking a little always worries you too.
After reviewing the play, the ruling on the field stands. It is an interception. Pittsburgh is charged with its first timeout.
Well, there you go. He saw what you saw. And now, Bill Belichick in 3 AFC title games has 14 takeaways. Look at that. 4 when they were here in 01. 6 against the Colts last season.
Look at this game today, Jim. Because the Steelers have they've done a lot of good things on both sides of the football, but every single time there has been an opportunity to make a big play, the receivers came down with it. Tom Brady made a terrific throw. They get a chance to make the interceptions. They get it done. It's unbelievable.
And you can't say enough about that last series, too, where they had it for 5.5 minutes. 3-yard gain for Corey Dillon. And we'll see, I would think, a heavy dose of Dillon.
You've got to stop them in 3 plays. If you do and they punt the football, you still can get 2 possessions in the game that gives you a chance to tie it up. So Tom Brady, you know, one thing he has not done today, he has not used the snap count. The crowd is low. This is when a quarterback, you get up there, you go on a hard count, the defense is anxious, you can get 5 yards.
2nd down and 7. To Dillon. Met after a 1-yard run by Aaron Smith. And let's go quickly to Bonnie.
Jim, with the interception ruling standing, Jerome Bettis slouched on the bench, having to deal with the fact that this could very well be his last NFL game. Bettis has not spoken with anybody about this, but conceded to me before the game he is seriously contemplating retirement. Not a decision, however, he'll make until later in the offseason because he doesn't want the emotion of winning or losing to come into play.
Never healthy last year. Bonnie came back this year because he wanted to make another run at a Super Bowl. Never been there. 5th all-time rusher. Timeout on the field. It's Kevin Falk next to Brady. And Troy Brown in motion. Stutter step goes back the other way. Heat on Brady. Throws it. Got it. At the 33-yard line. Complete to David Gibbons.
Well, I was wrong about the running play, and then Tom Brady moves out of the pocket and just makes a beautiful throw down the field. 3 receivers to the right. Gibbons finds that open seam in the defense. What a throw by Tom Brady. You know, Jim, we talked to Tom Brady last night, and I talked about in the opening. He came into the league undersized, not strong enough. He worked really hard that first year. Got a chance to take over the team in the second year, and it's just progressed mentally and physically for 4 straight years.
Corey Dillon for 1 yard. Lineup tomorrow night. CBS Monday. Still standing. Listen up. Everybody loves Raymond 2.5 Men and CSI Miami and the Late Show David Letterman here on CBS.
You know, you go back to Tom Brady. What did Bill Belichick say back in that draft when he took him? They had 2 quarterbacks marked.
Yep, on the board too. They really had a hard time with that decision.
Yep, Tom Brady and Tim Rattay.
And how about that?
So Tim Rattay's home going, really?
Yeah, he just found it out. I guarantee. They said Rattay played like a spread offense.
More productive in college.
Yep, Brady, you know, played the antithesis of that. And here it's back to Dillon. And he's driving inside the 30 to the 27. Again, a 6th round pick. It's been talked about so many times. The 199th selection. And working on going here with 5 minutes to go to 8-0 in the postseason as a starter. The longest ever win streak in the postseason by a quarterback in history. Bart Starr with 9 consecutive postseason wins. And if he wins here, you know where you could get number 9, where he's already in the promised land, 2 MVPs.
There he is.
Kevin Falk, the single back, 3rd down 3. It's Falk and stop short. There he is. In fact, the 7 wins tied with Troy Aikman for most consecutive playoff wins to begin your playoff career. Kind of like the Roethlisberger to begin a career. Aikman won his first 7 playoff appearances as a starter. Brady, 430 away from going to 8-0. And what about his performance today, Phil?
Hey, you know, Jim, there's words. Sometimes you go, well, what else can I say? But in the big moments, he came through. Just terrific physical throws by Tom Brady, and then the little short one to David Gibbons for the touchdown. But those 2 long ones, this one here we just saw, to basically run, to take Pittsburgh's chances down to almost nothing to win the football game. When there's a chance to do it, he just gets it done. And, you know, again, he's improved. He's talking to Charlie Weiss, who's been so instrumental in building him up. But Tom Brady physically, that's what's really impressed me so much over the years.
Well, you see Brady has a little talk on the sideline after Pittsburgh used its last timeout. Brady and the Patriots are going to go for it. Now, this would have been, if they brought out Vinatieri, about a 43-yard try, which would have put them up 17-3 scores. But instead, they're going for it. For the knockout yard. Holstein lined up as the fullback. Lead block for Falk. And let's see where they spot it. Brady thinks he has it. Gibbons signals first down, but not so fast. Bill's going to peer down the line.
Looked like he had it. Holstein leading the way at fullback. We saw him last week. Very agile and moves around just like a fullback. A lineman who comes in, number 71. Don't get in his way. Not able to find anybody that time.
It is a first down. With 4:24 to go and the Steelers out of timeouts.
Jim, you said it. They're going for it on 4th down just to end the game, and that is a really good job by Falk just keeping his feet and getting that extra half yard to get the first down.
Just churning and churning as they go with Falk instead of Dillon, interestingly.
It is interesting. Off tackle, Kevin Falk has been more productive.
One more thing as you look at the numbers, Brady without an interception, Roethlisberger 3 times going the other way. Brady has the lowest interception percentage in NFL playoff history. Only 3 times has he been picked in his career in 271 postseason throws. Dillon back in spinning, banging bodies for about 3. Brady is first in that category. Bart Starr second, and third lowest percentage, Phil Simms.
Thank you, Jim.
Boy, I had to jump through hoops to get you there.
Thank you.
Tonight after the game, the countdown is on to the start of TV's most gripping and original new crime-solving drama. So stick around. Right after the game, the premiere of Numbers here on CBS.
We talked about it last week. We cover all these teams and all these years, but I've never been around a team that just never seems to break ranks. No player ever speaks out. Nobody showboats. Nobody cries about lack of playing time, that he's not happy with what's going on. Nobody. It just doesn't happen. And the one thing Bill Belichick does that I really like, and more coaches around the league I think are going to start doing, they make everybody find his role and participate in the game. They play everybody on the roster every week. As he would say, I have no ERWs. And those are eat, ride, and watch the game. None of those on his football team.
So we approach 2:37. They can run this play all the way down to the 2-minute warning. And look at him, end around. It's worked early. It's Deion Branch. Deion Branch takes off. Touchdown, New England. Jacksonville, here they come.
Well, you know, when you get a chance, Armin Katayan said it, you know, you can't be afraid to take a chance. This one is a little risky. The Steelers overplaying. Deion Branch in the open field. Chris Hope has no chance. Too fast, too quick, finds the end zone.
Deion Branch, 60-yard touchdown reception. First quarter, fourth quarter, 23-yard run for another score. 41 points on the board for New England.
What did Bill Belichick say before the game to Armin Katayan? In the biggest games, we've played our best. And that is something, especially for Bill Belichick to say, because we never could get him to say really a good word about his own team. So when he says that, he has tremendous confidence in what they're about to try to do.
Well, it's going to be New England and Philadelphia, barring any miracle here. They last met the second week of last season, the 03 season. Phil, you were there.
Oh, yeah, I was there. And this is when the team was going to revolt against Bill Belichick.
Yeah, because they lost the opener against Buffalo 31-zip.
That was when they traded away Lawyer Malloy, or let him go, I should say, and the Buffalo Bills picked him up. And it was disaster for the Patriots, and look what has happened since that loss.
Yeah, they went down one at Philadelphia with 3 Brady touchdown passes and the Brewski interception run back for a score, 31-10.
Yeah, what a tough way to suffer your first loss if you're Ben Roethlisberger. I'll just say this, said it many times today, and I have to tell myself, because I judge sometimes all quarterbacks the same, this is a rookie. And Bill Cowher has found his Tom Brady. They're going to be together for a lot of years.
Just lined this kick. Keep away from Randall L. And it's Matt Cushing near the 40. Shaky start for Roethlisberger. Got it going, good rhythm, third quarter. And then a pick on his last throw. 3 and all. What have you seen, Phil?
Well, you know, Jim, it's just the last one, the football got away from him, but the other one's just trying to make throws where he just misjudged the talent of the New England Patriot defense, and experience will make him better at making those judgments. That's the only thing that takes care of those kind of mistakes.
Take a look at the field here and look at the down linemen for the New England defense.
Yeah,
none. Roethlisberger will try to take advantage of that open field, and he has a first down at the 50.
You know, too, as you look at this Patriots team, Romeo Crennel, you talked about it, could be headed to the Cleveland Browns, and Charlie Weiss, the offensive coordinator, of course, going to Notre Dame.
2-minute warning. Patriots, the dynasty, the word you're going to hear a lot of the next 2 weeks. From the 50 with 2 minutes to go. Roethlisberger on the run, hits Burris to the 37, and again, numbers, the premiere of numbers coming up right after the game and the Lamar Hunt Trophy presentation. Two brothers, one's an FBI agent, the other a math genius. New way of crime solving, you'll see it tonight. Again, look at the linebackers on the line of scrimmage here. No down linemen. You got McGinnis, you got Brewski. They're going to run it here with Ains for a gain of about 8. Again, Steelers can't stop it. If you asked Bill Belichick, hey, is this a dynasty you put together here? You know he's going to slam it right back in your face, right?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
So we talked to him last night trying to get around that a little bit. Got to find a different approach. As they drop it off to Haynes again to the 15. And again, the Subway postgame show will be coming up right after this one. Greg will be down on the field for the AFC Trophy presentation, the Lamar Hunt Trophy, and Joe Namath will be involved in that. And that's coming up. Subway postgame show. Back to Haynes. Down to the 7. So I say to Belichick, in your 30-year time in the league in some capacity, what dynasties have you seen? I wanted to see how he defined them. First team he mentioned, Dallas in the 90s, a team that won 3 out of 4. And Belichick, by the way, calls a timeout here. He calls the timeout. But he first said Dallas. Vince Lombardi, 9-1 career postseason record. That was the Legends record. And Belichick, if he can close out the last 56 seconds, will join Lombardi at 9-1 and then look to pass him and collect a third Lombardi trophy in Jacksonville. But wasn't that interesting that he did yes. in that way, in that fashion, define what he thinks a dynasty is?
Well, what he defined as a dynasty, Jim, is what we're trying to say here is that what he is doing, if they go on and win the Super Bowl, would put the New England Patriots in that same group.
It'll be 3 out of 4, just like Dallas. Exactly. Of course, he said 70 Steelers. And that was another one. We all know about the steel curtain. And touchdown pass to Burris with 52 seconds left. Hank Poteet tried to cover him.
Well, it's a good throw. Ben Roethlisberger actually just throws it behind the receiver. So tough on the outside. Plexico Burris, he can react to the football a lot quicker than the defensive back.
Burris with his third catch. This one goes for a touchdown. He had told us he didn't want that 2 or 3 catch kind of a day. He was wanting to get way more involved in this one. Thought he would. And they all want to get more involved, but in this case, he had some specific numbers in mind. It's been a great season being with you, Phil.
A lot of fun. Enjoyed the football, and today we saw 2 terrific teams, but the Patriots just took advantage of their opportunities, and their experience is one of the big reasons why they've won this football game.
You know, how about a thanks and a nod to our great team. Executive producers of the NFL on CBS, Sean McManus and Tony Petitti. Coordinating producer of the NFL on CBS, and today's game produced by Lance Barrow.
Right.
Heading to Phoenix and Pebble Beach. He's doing okay. Today's game directed by Mike Arnold, our replay producer Jim Rickoff, senior producer of CBS Sports and the NFL Today Eric Mann, the director of the NFL Today Bob Mattina, coordinating producer of CBS Sports Harold Bryant, associate directors of today's game Steve Karasik, Pete Radovich Jr., Joel Dukart, broadcast associates John Paquette, Steve Murphy, technical manager Pete Callander, technical director Jonas Einstein, audio supervisor Ed Soltis, stats Ethan Cooperson, talking about numbers Joe Castellano, our spotter Tom Spencer, production manager Cam Howie, way to go, Rob Flores, Kevin McHale up here looking after us in the booth, Jimmy Hatter down on the field. And thanks to all the men and women of CBS Sports all season long. Onside kick coming, flooding the right side. Reed's kick hops up and right into the arms of Christian Fauria. Bill Cowher dropped to 1-4 in championship games at home. And talk about now the Super Bowl preview, looking at the Eagles. The Eagles and the Patriots.
Yeah, you look at that game, the defense of the Eagles. Look what they did. Regular season, 13-3, most wins in their history. The strengths, Donovan McNabb, of course. The defense doesn't give up a lot of points. The weakness is down you saw at the bottom. One of them is all the penalties that they commit.
Maybe T.O. returns for that game. You know, interesting, Philadelphia hadn't been to a Super Bowl since losing to Oakland back in Super Bowl 15 in New Orleans. They lost to the Raiders 27-10, and they advanced today by that same score on to their second Super Bowl. There's Bob Kraft. Made a huge contribution, the Patriot Foundation a week ago, to the Tsunami Relief Fund. And what a reign it has been for Mr. Kraft in his time with the Patriots. 4 times in all for him, going to a Super Bowl.
What Mr. Bob Kraft has done with the Patriots, they have put together the model franchise in a lot of ways. You know, you look at this team, and there's not a lot of free agents. It's like this same team is going to come back next year.
Bill Belichick has done it again. Subway post-game show is coming up. We'll have the Lamar Hunt Trophy presentation. Tom Brady continues his unbeaten streak in the postseason. Just amazing. What a team, what a franchise. They are the AFC champions. New England's going to meet Philadelphia in Jacksonville. But again tonight. You talk about numbers. The 2 teams that allowed the fewest points this year, 68 total in the game tonight. Numbers, the series premiere is coming up. We've got the Lamar Hunt Trophy presentation coming up on the Subway postgame show in a moment.
You know, Heinz Field, where the Pittsburgh fans have proven themselves to be among the hardiest around as they've braved the weather here. The New England Patriots, winners of the AFC Championship. The National Football League is honoring Super Bowl III this year. And here to present the Lamar Hunt Trophy, which goes to the champion of the AFC, is Hall of Famer and one of the great quarterbacks in NFL history, Joe Namath, to make the presentation. Joe?
Thank you, Greg. Mr. Kraft, on behalf of the NFL, Tom, on behalf of the NFL and all of us fans, man, congratulations to you, your team, your organization, and your fans. The Lamar Hunt Trophy is right here.
Thank you, Joe.
Nice going.
To get this from such a great player is a great honor for us. But I'd like to compliment the Rooney family for 7 great decades of service and leadership in the NFL, and congratulate the finest players and coaching staff in the NFL and the great job they did the last 2 weeks with our great fans in New England. So it's a great pleasure for us on to Jacksonville.
Congratulations, Mr. Kraft. Coach Bill Belichick. That's for you. Tom Brady says that's for you.
Thank you.
I know in the midst of everything and the goals that you're still trying to achieve, this victory here tonight makes you 9-1 in postseason, which ties Vince Lombardi. I wonder where that stands in all of your accomplishments.
Well, I don't know, but I'm just so proud of these players. Our team has really played well in the big games, and today was a huge one against a real good football team with the Steelers. We have so much respect for that organization and the job Bill Cowher's done. So we're just fortunate to win, and I'm very fortunate to have such an outstanding group of men on this team.
Bill, congratulations to you. Good luck in Super Bowl 39.
Thank you.
Tom Brady is the man who has yet to taste defeat in postseason football. And I imagine this game took on special significance in light of the last trip that you made into Pittsburgh.
Yeah, they made it awfully tough on us that last time. They played pretty good, and they played good tonight. I think this team just had we got some grit, determination, and we kept answering the bell.
And you kept the ball to yourself, no turnovers. That seems to be a hallmark of this Patriots team.
That's important, especially when you play these really good teams. And Pittsburgh is a tremendous defense, and we did a great job protecting the ball, and I think that leads to victory.
Tom, as always, good luck to you. Congratulations.
Thanks, guy. I appreciate it.
Tom Brady, the New England Patriots. We'll be back with more of the Subway postgame show from Heinz Field in Pittsburgh in just a moment. As we welcome you back to
I like this because it's just an easy glide. I got my heart rate up. I worked all my muscle groups.
I've been looking for a good workout, and now that I've actually tried the cardio cruiser, it was very smooth, very comfortable. I really enjoyed it.
I can sit down and doesn't put any strain on the knees or the ankles, and the cardiovascular part of it is really great too.